The roar of 100 Harley-Davidsons shook the small town of Fairhope, Alabama. People froze mid-step, shopkeepers peeked through their windows, and mothers clutched their children close. A gang of bikers, leather-clad, tattooed, and rough-looking, was rolling into town like a storm. Sheriff Dean Grayson stepped onto the main street, his hand hovering near his holster. He had seen his fair share of trouble in his years, but this was different. These bikers weren't just passing through. They stopped. They parked. They took off their helmets and scanned the town with calculating eyes. Then they did something no one expected. They started cleaning. Without a word, the biggest, meanest-looking one, grizzled, bald with a scar across his jaw, grabbed a rusted shovel from a neglected storefront and started digging out weeds growing between the sidewalk cracks. Another biker began hammering nails into the broken wooden fence outside the diner. A group of them approached Miss Eleanor's bakery, where a faded, closed sign hung in the window. They peered inside at the dusty display cases. Miss Eleanor, a frail woman in her 70s, stepped onto the porch, her face pale. What are you doing?" she stammered. The bald biker turned to her, his voice gruff, yet oddly gentle. "Fixing this place up." Sheriff Grayson finally found his voice. "Now hold on a minute. What's this about? You boys trying to pull something?" The bald biker glanced at him. "We're here because of Billy." The name sent a ripple through the crowd. Billy Thompson, the town's golden boy. The kid who had left years ago on a motorcycle, vowing to make something of himself. The one who never returned. "Billy was one of us," the biker continued. "He found family in our club. He told us about this place, about Miss Eleanor, who gave him free bread when he had nothing to eat, about the sheriff who let him off with a warning instead of a record, about how he always wanted to come back and give something to this town." Sheriff Grayson swallowed hard. Billy had left at 18, chasing a future no one believed he could have. They all assumed he had vanished into the world, forgotten. "Billy," the sheriff hesitated. "He never came back." The biker's expression darkened. "He tried, but life had other plans." Miss Eleanor clutched her chest. "Is he?" The bald man nodded solemnly. "He passed last month. Cancer. But before he went, he made us promise to come here, to give this town what he always wanted to." Silence stretched over the street, thick with unspoken grief. And then something shifted. A shopkeeper walked out with a broom. A teenager grabbed a paintbrush and approached an old storefront. The bikers weren't just strangers anymore. They were Billy's family. And Billy, though gone, was still giving back. By nightfall, the town glowed with fresh paint, repaired fences, and swept streets. The closed sign on Miss Eleanor's bakery was replaced with an open one. And in the center of town, a small plaque was placed beneath the big oak tree where Billy used to sit. Billy Thompson. He left, but he never forgot. As the bikers prepared to leave, Sheriff Grayson stepped forward. "Thank you," he said, his voice thick. The bald biker smirked. "Don't thank us. Thank Billy." And with that, the roar of the engines filled the night again. But this time, it wasn't a sound of fear. It was a sound of love, of loyalty, of a promise kept. And the town of Fairhope would never forget it.